right, everyone, welcome back. We're going to be diving into Red Hat's latest AI offering, Red Hat Enterprise Linux AI 1.3.
Yeah, it's a really interesting release.
So RHEL AI.
It's basically Red Hat's platform for uh, developing and testing and running all these generative AI models that are becoming so important for businesses.
Okay, so 1.3, they're really focusing on three main areas, right?
Yeah, they're really focusing on supporting their Granite large language models.
Right, making it easier to get data ready for AI.
Yeah, simplifying that whole data preparation piece is huge. And then the third area is expanding the hardware support for AI.
Which makes sense because AI is very computationally intensive.
Yeah, exactly. Really needs that specialized hardware to run efficiently.
So before we get too deep into the weeds, can you just give us a quick overview of what Red Hat's vision for enterprise AI is?
Yeah, their vision is really centered around smaller, open source, licensed AI models.
So it's about right-sizing the AI?
Yeah, choosing the right tool for the job instead of just going with the biggest, most resource-intensive models.
And I think that makes a lot of sense because not every business needs a massive AI model.
Yeah, exactly. And this trend towards smaller models is actually gaining a lot of traction in the industry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was some recent research from IDC that showed a surprising number of companies are actually planning to use open source foundation models for their generative AI.
Interesting. So it's not just a Red Hat thing, it's something that's happening across the industry.
Yeah, it's definitely a broader trend, and I think it plays right into Red Hat's strengths with their deep roots in open source and their strong partner ecosystem.
So how does this new release, RHEL AI 1.3, actually put that vision into practice?
Well, one of the major highlights is their enhanced support for Granite 3.0, which is their latest generation of large language models.
Right. Granted, those are the LLMs that Red Hat develops themselves.
Yeah, and specifically, 1.3 brings support for the Granite 3.0 8B model, which is designed for English language use cases.
Okay, but there are new LLMs popping up all the time. What makes this one stand out?
What's really cool about Granite 3.0 is it's what they call a converged model. So it's not just good at understanding and generating English text.
You can do other things too.
Yeah, it can handle a bunch of other languages, generate code, and even perform function calling. So it's kind of like a multi-talented AI powerhouse.
So are all those extra capabilities available now, or is it something that's coming later?
The non-English language support, the code generation, and function calling are currently in developer preview.
So it's kind of like a sneak peek at what's coming in the future.
Yeah, exactly. Full support is expected in future releases. So they're definitely laying the groundwork for even more versatility.
Okay, so that's Granite 3.0. And we talked about simplifying data preparation. What's going on there?
Well, one of the biggest challenges with training AI models is getting all that data into the right format right.
Right, because it often comes in messy, unstructured formats like PDFs and Word documents.
Exactly, and that can be a huge headache to deal with.
Yeah, no one likes wrestling with PDFs.
To tackle this, RHEL AI 1.3 now includes a really cool tool called Dockling, which is an open source project from IBM Research.
Dockling? Is that like a little robot that sorts through documents?
That's a pretty good image, actually. Dockling is all about taking those messy documents and converting them into AI-friendly formats like Markdown and JSON.
So it's like a translator that helps the AI understand what's in those documents.
Exactly. It makes those documents speak the language of AI, so you can use them for training or fine-tuning your models.
So if I have a PDF that I want to use for training, I can just convert it to Markdown using Dockling and then feed that directly into InstructLab.
Precisely, it streamlines the whole process of getting that raw data into a format that the AI can actually learn from.
But how does it deal with context and meaning? I mean, just converting the format doesn't necessarily mean the AI will understand what's in the document, right?
You're right. That's where Dockling's context-aware chunking comes in. It doesn't just chop up the document randomly.
It tries to understand the structure.
Right. It breaks it down into smaller pieces while taking into account the structure and meaning of the content.
So it's making sure that the AI gets the full picture, the relationships between the different pieces of information.
Yeah, exactly. It's about helping the AI truly understand what it's reading, not just parroting back words.
Wow, this Dockling thing sounds pretty impressive. What about the hardware side of things?
Well, Red Hat is all about providing choice, right? And that includes the hardware you use for your AI workloads.
Yeah, so they already support those big names in AI accelerators, NVIDIA and AMD.
Yeah, but with 1.3, they're adding Intel Gaudi 3 as a technology preview.
So they're expanding the options, giving businesses more flexibility.
Exactly. It's about letting them choose the hardware that best aligns with their specific needs and budget whether they're looking for raw performance or something more cost-effective.
More options are always a good thing, especially in the world of AI hardware where things are constantly changing.
Absolutely. And it also ties back to that theme of democratizing AI, making it accessible to a wider range of businesses.
So, where can companies actually run this RHEL AI? Is it limited to specific environments?
Well, that's one of the great things about it. It's designed to be really flexible. You can run it on your own servers, of course,
Yeah, if you want to keep things in house.
but it's also fully supported on all the major cloud providers,
Yeah.
AWS, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Azure.
So, they're covering all the bases, cloud on premise, whatever you need.
And they're even going to be making it available on Azure Marketplace and AWS Marketplace, which will make it even easier to deploy.
So, it's about simplifying things, reducing those barriers to entry
Right. And they're also working closely with their hardware partners like Dell and Lenovo.
to offer pre validated solutions.
Yeah, so you can get a fully optimized and supported system right out of the box, which minimizes those setup headaches.
That's great for companies that are just getting started with AI. They don't have to figure everything out from scratch.
Right. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of deploying these complex systems.
Okay, so we've talked about the vision, the granite LLMs dockling the hardware options. What about actually putting these models into action? How does that work?
Well, that's where Red Hat OpenShift AI comes in. And they've made some really significant improvements to it with this release.
Hold on, can you remind me what the difference is between RHEL AI and OpenShift AI? They both seem to be related to AI.
Yeah, so think of it this way. RHEL AI is like the foundation, the base layer for individual Linux servers. OpenShift AI is built for those larger distributed environments that run on Kubernetes, which is a platform for managing containers. It's a step up in scale and complexity.
So it's for companies that are serious about AI and need to manage a lot of models across a larger infrastructure.
Exactly. And it also includes a bunch of tools for MLOps or machine learning operations, which is basically the practice of managing and deploying AI models efficiently at scale.
So it's like the control center for all your AI activity.
You got it. And one of the coolest new features in OpenShift AI is support for what they call parallelized serving of LLMs across multiple nodes using VLLM runtimes.
Okay, I'm getting a little lost in the technical terms here. What does that actually mean?
Simply put, it means you can now distribute the work of serving those AI models across multiple computers. So if you have a ton of users hitting your AI application at the same time, OpenShift AI can now handle that load much more efficiently.
So it's like having a team of AI servers working together to provide lightning fast responses.
Exactly. It's all about speed and scalability, making sure your AI applications can keep up with the demand.
Makes sense. And what about this dynamic parameter adjustment that they added to OpenShift AI?
Oh, yeah, that's another big one. It means you can basically fine-tune the AI model in real time based on the incoming requests or the current workload.
So you can tweak the AI on the fly to make it perform better.
Yeah, you can do things like sharding the model, which means splitting it up and distributing it across multiple GPUs, or you can quantize the model, which makes it smaller and more efficient to run.
So it's about optimizing the model's performance in real time, making it faster and more efficient.
Precisely, and what's really great about this is that it leads to a much better user experience, faster response time, smoother interactions, and ultimately happier customers.
So it's not just about making the AI technically better, it's about translating those improvements into real-world benefits for the users.
Right, and it highlights how Red Hat is thinking about the entire AI lifecycle from building and training models to deploying and managing effectively at scale.
Yeah, it's a holistic approach to AI.
Absolutely. And that leads us to the bigger picture of Red Hat's AI strategy.
Okay, so let's zoom out for a minute. How do RHEL AI and OpenShift AI fit into their overall AI plans?
They're both key components of Red Hat AI, which is their overarching initiative to make AI more accessible and practical for businesses of all sizes.
So it's their umbrella brand for all things AI.
Yeah, encompassing everything from the underlying infrastructure to the tools and services that make AI work.
And they're really focused on simplifying the adoption of AI, right? Making it easier and faster for businesses to get started with AI.
Yeah, and reducing the costs as well, because AI can traditionally be quite expensive to implement and manage.
Which is a barrier for a lot of companies, especially smaller ones.
Exactly. And what we've seen with RHEL AI 1.3 really shows how they're making strides in that direction. They're combining all their expertise in open source, Linux, Kubernetes, and now AI to create a really compelling platform.
Yeah, it feels like they're going all in on AI.
They definitely are. And it's exciting to see what they're doing because they're not just building another AI platform. They're creating a movement towards more accessible and practical AI.
And that's a message that I think will resonate with a lot of businesses.
Yeah, especially those who are just starting to explore the possibilities of AI. All right, welcome back. Let's jump back into RHEL AI 1.3.
Seems good. So before we left off, we were discussing how Red Hat is making AI more practical for businesses.
Yeah, focusing on making it a tool that businesses can actually use to solve problems.
Right. Not just some futuristic concept.
Yeah, I think one of the key ways they're doing that is by putting a big emphasis on efficiency.
Okay. Why is efficiency so important when we talk about AI?
Well, AI models, especially the more advanced ones, they can be really resource intensive. They need a lot of computing power, a lot of memory, and that can get extensive, especially for businesses dealing with huge amounts of data.
So it's about keeping those costs under control.
Yeah, exactly. Especially as more and more companies start using AI, those costs can really add up.
But it's not just about the money, right? Efficiency also impacts performance.
Absolutely. If your AI models are slow and sluggish, it's going to affect the user experience. Nobody wants to wait around for an AI to think.
Yeah, it needs to feel instantaneous.
And then there's also the sustainability aspect. More efficient AI models use less energy, which is good for the environment.
So it's a win-win-win, lower costs, better performance, and a smaller carbon footprint.
Exactly. So Red Hat is really approaching this from multiple angles.
Mm.
One of the key strategies is using smaller, more specialized AI models like we talked about with Granite 3.0.
Right, using the right tool for the job.
Yeah, and because Red Hat is so committed to open source, uh, they have access to a wide variety of these specialized models, which gives businesses more choices.
So they can pick the model that best fits their specific needs.
Exactly, instead of being forced to use a one-size-fits-all approach.
Okay, so smaller models are one piece of the puzzle. What else are they doing to make RHEL AI 1.3 more efficient?
They're also doing a lot of optimization work behind the scenes. They have a whole team of engineers who are experts in AI performance tuning.
So they're constantly tweaking and refining the code to make it run faster.
Yes, squeezing every bit of performance out of the hardware.
Like a pit crew for your AI.
Exactly. And those optimizations can really make a difference, reducing latency, improving throughput, making the whole experience smoother.
So that's on the software side. What about hardware? We talked about expanding hardware choices earlier.
Yeah, hardware acceleration is a big part of this. It's about using specialized hardware like those NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel accelerators that we mentioned.
Right, those chips that are specifically designed for AI workloads.
Yeah, they can really speed up the training and inference processes, making those models run much faster.
Like giving your AI a dedicated superhighway.
Exactly. And because RHEL AI supports a variety of these accelerators, it gives businesses the flexibility to choose the best hardware for their needs and their budget.
So they can balance performance and cost.
Exactly. And it all goes back to that idea of democratizing AI, making it accessible to more businesses.
I like that, making AI less intimidating, less expensive, breaking down those barriers that have prevented some companies from adopting it.
Yeah, it's about leveling the playing field and letting more businesses benefit from AI.
And it seems like Red Hat is really leading the way in this area.
I think so. And it aligns with this broader trend we're seeing in the AI industry, where people are realizing that AI needs to be more than just a cool technology.
It needs to solve real-world problems.
Exactly. It needs to deliver tangible business value. And I think RHEL 1.3 is a great example of that.
Yeah, it's about bridging that gap between the hype and the reality of AI.
Right. And making it a force for positive change across industries.
So it sounds like we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about Red Hat's vision for AI, their focus on efficiency with RHEL AI 1.3.
We've talked about the enhancements to OpenShift AI for managing AI at scale.
But now I'm really curious to see how this all translates into real-world applications. How can businesses actually use RHEL AI 1.3 to make a difference in their operations?
That's a great question, and I think that's what we should explore next.
Okay, let's get into some specific examples then.
All right, so let's dive into some real-world use cases and see how RHEL AI 1.3 is being used to transform businesses across different industries.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time to see how this tech actually works in the real world.
Yeah. See those practical applications, how companies are using RHEL AI 1.3 to solve real problems.
Okay, so give us some examples.
Well, one of the most interesting areas is customer service. Yeah, imagine a company that wants to create a really sophisticated chatbot, one that can handle complex questions, provide personalized support, maybe even anticipate problems before they arise.
Yeah, that's way beyond those basic chatbots. We're all used to the ones that just give you canned responses.
Exactly. And this is where RHEL AI 1.3 can really shine. A company could use the Granite 3.0 LLM, fine-tune it with their own customer data using InstructLab, and then deploy it on RHEL AI, either on their own servers or in the cloud.
So they're creating a chatbot that's like an expert on their products and services.
Right. And because Granite 3.0 is a converged model, it can handle multiple languages, generate code if needed, to integrate with other systems. And it can even access their customer relationship management system or knowledge base to provide really comprehensive support.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. So it's not just answering simple questions, it's actually solving problems.
Yeah. And, customer service is just one example. Let's think about content creation.
Oh, yeah. How does AI fit into that?
Well, imagine a marketing team that's struggling to keep up with the demand for new content. They could use RHEL AI 1.3 to generate marketing copy, write blog posts, craft social media updates, maybe even help script videos.
Hold on, AI writing marketing copy, does that really work?
It can. The key is to think of AI as a creative partner, a tool that helps human writers, not something that replaces them.
So it's about augmenting human creativity.
Exactly. AI can help overcome writer's block, generate new ideas, tailor content for different audiences, and then the human writers can focus on the strategy, the emotional aspects, the things that AI still struggles with.
That makes sense. So it's a collaboration between humans and AI.
Right. And this approach can be applied to all sorts of content, not just marketing.
Okay, so we've talked about customer service, content creation. What about something more complex like financial analysis?
Financial analysis is actually a great example of where AI is already making a big impact. Institutions are using platforms like RHEL AI 1.3 to analyze market trends, assess risk, detect fraud, even personalize investment recommendations.
So it's like having an AI analyst crunching numbers and finding patterns.
Yeah, and because RHEL AI has those powerful data preparation tools, they can process huge amounts of data, market reports, company filings, even social media sentiment.
Wow, that's a lot of data.
Right. And it helps them get a much more comprehensive view of the market.
So it sounds like the potential applications for RHEL AI are pretty vast.
Yeah, I think that's the point Red Hat is making. They're building a platform that's versatile enough to handle a wide range of use cases across different industries.
And by focusing on smaller, more specialized models, they're making it easier for companies to create custom AI solutions.
Right. It's about empowering businesses to build the AI that works best for them.
And with those advancements in OpenShift AI, they can manage and deploy those models at scale as their needs grow.
Yeah. So whether companies just starting out with AI or they're already more advanced, RHEL AI provides a solution that can adapt to their needs.
This is really exciting stuff. It's great to see how these advancements are making AI more accessible to more businesses.
Yeah, it's really democratizing access to AI.
And I think that's one of the most important things about this release. It's not just about the technology itself. It's about making AI more practical, more affordable, more understandable for businesses of all sizes.
Yeah, it's about making sure that everyone can benefit from AI, not just the big tech companies.
Absolutely. And I think we're just scratching the surface of what's possible with AI. As the technology continues to evolve, we're going to see even more amazing applications emerge.
I agree. It's a really exciting time to be following this space. And Red Hat, with their focus on open source and collaboration,
Yeah.
they seem to be in a great position to lead the way.
Well, this has been a fantastic deep dive. We've explored Red Hat's vision for AI, technical details of RHEL AI 1.3, and we've even seen how it's being used in the real world.
It's been a great conversation.
I think the key takeaway here is that AI is no longer just a futuristic concept. It's a real tool that companies can use right now to solve problems and create value.
Absolutely. And Red Hat is making that a reality for businesses of all sizes.
So thanks for joining us for this deep dive into RHEL AI 1.3. We'll see you next time for another exploration of the world of technology and innovation.